Yeah. Do you have an example when you're talking about like, something that you need to let go? Is there something that you have had to let go that you then found down the line, you were like, "Hey, I was reluctant to let this go," but maybe 2 weeks or 2 months down the line, 4 months down the line, you're like, "Oh wow, if I didn't let this one go, maybe I would have
Oh
been,
yeah.
in a ditch." You get what I'm saying?
I got a really good one.
Look, hell of an intro. I tell you what you info, but I never really been the type of dude to give no info. But if you see your ends low and you trying to get a benzo, I'll give your ass some game that'll change the way that you think, bro. Super skilled with the pencil, super ill in my mental. I reminisce on life, I'm nice. Here's my memento. Get it through your tempo. I get on any tempo and give it all I got. I'm hot, I got like 10 flows. Trying to live on the 10th floor across from residentials that I own. My mind stayed grown. I used to think clothes. I really used to think hoes and what I do to get those. And then I switched it up. I'm only thinking potential. Yeah, like what you do, homie? What's your vision? How you thinking? How you move, homie? And is you cool, homie? You thinking building, then that's something we could do, homie.
Here we are, back with another one. Ooh, man,
Yes, sir.
shout out to everybody that didn't think we were gonna keep going to this day. You know who you are. I don't have to say no names. I love you though. I do. I really do. Truly
Mhm.
indeed. You guys give me more fire. You guys make sure that I keep going. You guys keep me on my toes. Because there's an expectation that's supposed to be set, and you know, if you guys can uphold me and hold me accountable to those expectations, just know the job is going to get done.
Yeah, absolutely. But just also know that if you ever need help in that regard, in terms of like just having a place for you to shine your light a little bit brighter, we're here for you. You don't have to go over there, reinvent the wheel, and try to have a podcast for a season. Um, you can
For
come
a season.
here you can come here every season. You always have a seat at the table. Where we welcome different perspective. We welcome your uniqueness because we know you bring some sort of uniqueness to the table, and that's added value to our community. That's added value to the world in general. So don't be shy. Come through. We're here for you.
Like our OG mentor would say, don't be high, no, don't be shy, say hi. Don't be shy, say hi. There it is. Jeez, tongue twister there. But yes, as you mentioned, those good things. Don't forget, of course, just before we go ahead and kick things off, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave us those reviews. And you're probably hearing, why are you guys saying like, comment, subscribe? Because we actually are on YouTube now. Again, this is something we've just rolled out, so you guys can take a look at it.
Right.
And we're on now visual. So if you want to take a look at our beautiful faces, you know exactly where to go
Where to
find
find
us.
us.
With that being said, what you got for us today, my man?
Yo, so I was just thinking about the transition that we've been going through, right? From season one, trying to figure things out, navigating the water, learning how to swim, all that stuff. And then getting into season two, where we really have to start looking at how can we 10x this thing? How can we make progress? And one thing that stood out to me was this aspect of how we were filtering content last year, right? Um, having being so selective of how we're gonna who we want to interview, what kind of topics we want to have. So it kind of got me into this bubble of thinking about offense and defense. I'm a sports guy.
Yeah,
I play sports most of my life, and
trash.
there is that concept of like offense and defense. And in my perspective, I feel like last year it was so much of like defense because we were filtering through content, right? But to be a true, to be a true, of true value to your community, to your family, to the people around you, you have to be a mediator. You have to have that balance between the two worlds. I don't know what the two worlds are, but you have to be in the middle. You cannot be at the top. You cannot be at the bottom, because your impact is really being able to have, that balance in between. So that takes me back to, my own personal experience with, playing soccer and basketball. There are times where I did not really understand my role because I was stubborn. I was a stubborn student. And as a stubborn student, you think that the position where you are is the best thing for you. It's not until you meet a mentor, you meet a teacher, or somebody that has more knowledge and more experience than you that will humble you and say, hey, based off of what I've seen and prior experiences, I think this will be beneficial to you. Now, it's up to you as an individual to go in there and say, okay, I'm going to take the risk to try it out. So I'm going to give you an example. I play soccer. Most of my life growing up, I was a forward, always at the front and trying to score goals for whatever reason. But then when I started playing soccer, in America, quickly, the people around me realized, okay, your skill set will be beneficial at the midfield position because you're the type of player that you have the skills to facilitate the game for others. So that's kind of, where my mind is going with it. It's like understanding your role in the position that you play in other people's life and in your own life. Are you on the offensive? Are you on the defensive? Or did you really find the balance, the harmony that you need to have with others around you? And the reason why I bring this up is because I really value this podcast. I think this podcast has the potential to be the medium for a larger community.
You better, bro. This man said
a larger community than just ourselves. I think when we started this podcast, we were thinking North Carolina, and right now I feel like we're thinking too small. And we have the sky's the limit. We have the potential to bring a lot of more people together and understand that there's more to life than just looking in a mirror. Yes, looking in a mirror is important, but what are you doing with the skill set that you have, after working on yourself? So that's where I feel as though this podcast should not be any offense or defense, but be in a position to truly and genuinely be of service to others, be the assist to others. And I wanted to talk about individually, you, right? Where in your life do you feel as though you're playing offense, defense? Is there any change that needs to be made? Mm-hmm. I know you're into real estate and all that kind of stuff. And then just break it down for us.
Yes, I would say I'm like 75% offense, and then the other 25 is defense. And the reason why I'm offense is, as you know, I'm a very forward-thinking kind of guy. My mind sits in days, weeks, months ahead. It doesn't stand for what's going on today. So that's why that forward thinking and that the offense, I'm always looking at where can I attack, what could I do better, what could I do, how can I strategize. That's really what goes to my mind on a consistent basis with everything. If there's one thing that I play defense with, though, I would say it's my money. Because again, it's like, you work hard for it. So of course you want to protect it at all costs so that the next person doesn't take it from you. Because again, this is the world we live in. Everybody's looking to take your money somewhere, somehow. Somebody is, whether you know it or not. I'm sorry to tell you the reality of it, but that's the world that we are in. So that's how there's a separation, right? The people at the top, they just brought you a little bit more so that they could take your money, and the people at the bottom, they didn't really give you much. So that's why they don't have it all. So that's why I would say, 75% of the time I'm on offense, just looking for things that attack, things that I can challenge and make better, things to improve, be innovative, bring a value to somebody. Like, it's just, again, if you ever sit down with me, my eye goes like all over the room, a million miles per hour. Like, good luck keeping up. It's because I'm analyzing and my brain is just turning and twisting. Now, of course, I can shut it down. A lot of people probably like, man, I can't be around this guy. This guy is crazy. I can shut it down when necessary, when needed.
Right.
But it's one of those things where that's just who I am. I'm always looking for a way to improve, not only myself, but just everyone's scenario. If I see an opportunity for someone and that's just me playing offense, then I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, you might want to go check this out. Now, it's up to you to go do it. I'm not going to be the one to do it for you. And that's just that. But being offensive has always been my best friend. Even with real estate, trying new things, as you know yourself, getting into real estate was a battle in itself for me
It
to do
was.
that, and
It
continuously
was a
taking those
curveball.
exams one after another. So doing that as well as just finding the things that I enjoy doing in real estate has been even more powering, because now I found it. Now I can play even more offense. Now I can really attack it, and that's what led me to go on YouTube, right? And you can ask anybody around me. I was probably the last one that would ever be on any sort of social media
Platform.
showing my face, and it's just kind of sharing knowledge with everyone in the world about what it's like to live in North Carolina. And so, just that in itself, right? Always trying to find things to do, always trying to be innovative, always trying to bring a value, of course. And so that's why I would say 75% I'm on offense. The other 25, I would say defense, and the defense is primarily I'm protecting my money from the people that want to put their hands in my pockets.
Gotcha. What were you always at the 75 or the forefront, or or when you're making decision, or did you ever were you ever in a position where you were playing defense so much that you had to pull yourself out of there? Was it always, have you maintained that balance throughout the years?
I would say, so when you say defense, and I kind of want to clarify, because at least when I hear defense, I hear protecting. That's it.
Yes,
like you're
protecting.
Just protecting something.
Protecting.
And when I hear offense, I hear you're going after.
Right. So protecting, when I'm talking about defense, I'm talking about protecting, and by protecting in the context of podcast or school, it's filtering through what experiences you want to have, right? Rather than going with the flow of life.
Yeah.
The minute you decide to filter through the content, you're playing defense. And the minute you decide to say, okay, I'm open to what the universe has to offer to me, right? I'm just going to go with the rhythm of life. Now you're playing offense and kind of like just putting yourself out there. Yes, you can play offense, you can play defense, but understanding your role is a completely different thing in between those two. So I'm going to get into like, when did you understand your role and then actually follow through with it? But I just want to know if that consistency that you have now, right? So playing the 75% offense and 25% defense, was that the same thing for most of your life, or did it change at one point? That's where I'm getting to.
I think it definitely had to change, because again, you have a little bit more responsibilities as you get older. I would definitely say yes, I was always that person that always play offense, for the most part, because again, I'm a very stubborn person. So, yes, somebody may have guidance and somebody may be able to tell me, hey, this might be a little bit better, but I'm gonna look at you, I'm gonna question even what you just said to me. That's just me. Again, it's just maneuvering, kind of moving at my own pace. And it was really the thing that I really wanted to do at a really young age, and I didn't really have many people stopping me other than my parents. So it was, the world was in front of me at that point. So yeah, I would say for the most part, I was playing offense. Of course, as I got older, I started to play a little bit more defense, just because you get more responsibilities. Now you have things that you have to take care of. And so you have to understand and learn and just navigate through life, whether you're learning or somebody's teaching you what to do and what not to do, in order for you to not have those terrible experiences that we all try to avoid. But yeah.
Gotcha.
How about yourself? Did it change for you, or were you always that individual to be on one side over the other, or did you have balance?
I think for most of my life, because I was in survival mode, right? Trying to, make ends meet. You're always on the offensive side for most of your time, because you're chasing, right? You're constantly chasing.
Yeah.
But it's through life experiences that you come to realize that life doesn't have to be that way, right? Through lessons, through mistakes, and through challenges, that you realize that life doesn't have to be set up that way. There is a balance to everything. There's a yin and yang to everything that we experience. But you don't know that until you put yourself in a position to try things out. And being in a position to try things out means getting out of that defensive phase and being on the offensive phase. And if you overindulge on the offense, life has a way of humbling you to where you find harmony. So it's just constantly trying things out and not settling, right? And that's how I learned. That's how I learned. Because there's nothing that was ever taught to me. Everything was self-learned. Yes, I went to school, but in terms of like most of the things that I know, none of them came from, being at home in the house already. Maybe a few, I would say maybe 3% of it, 4% came from home, but everything else was self-learned through mistakes. And that was because I was always that guy that was going offense. And until I realized, okay, life doesn't really just need to be offense, bro. You can chill out. Like there's a point where, you understand your role and be like, all right, I can sit back and still have an impact. Once you understand that, you understand your value. You understand some sort of your self-worth in it. And that's where I'm getting to these days.
Well, when you say sit back, what do you mean by that? Like sit back and not do anything, or sit back, relax?
No,
Like,
no, no,
what
no,
do
no.
you mean
Sit
by
back and understand what impact
Ah.
you can have with the ability and skill sets that you have. Not sit back
Gotcha.
and just cross your hand and watch the show and expect people to fix every problem for you. No.
Yeah, gotcha. No, that's fair.
But
I
it's
mean,
to the
yeah.
point where, like, you don't have to be an octopus. You don't have to do everything yourself, right? You don't have to be out there killing yourself left and right. You can
I
delegate
like to
certain things
use-
because you understand your
Yeah.
role.
I'm gonna share something with you guys that I don't tell many people. I probably should not be sharing this right now, but there's an analogy with an octopus because he said it. There's a reason why I'm gonna say it now. It's meant to be. So you guys getting something special today. But he said something two very special things that he mentioned. He says there's we were stuck in North Carolina with the podcast. And yes, that was me playing defense because again, I understand there's riches and the niches. That's one of the key things.
Mm.
So if you're in this journey of business or you're kind of trying to figure things out, there are riches and the niches. That's one of the key things that I've learned, and which is gonna really enable you to kind of build that experience out for the person that you're trying to serve or solve or give some sort of value to. But to the octopus, this is the real gem. He mentioned that with the octopus, you don't have to be a jack of all trades doing all of it. But the best thing about this is what happens with an octopus when you clip one of what they call them the legs. When you take one of their legs out, it grows
back.
So even if something is not working for you and you find yourself in a place where you're like defense, I'm gonna defend this for whatever reason. I promise you, the moment you clip it, you let it go, you snip it, you cut it, you do whatever you have to do. I don't know what word you want to use at the same time, but the moment you let it go, what's gonna happen? Something else is gonna come right back in and replace it. So don't stress yourself over, something of that nature. I just kind of want to share that because it's right along the lines of what we're talking about now. Sometimes somebody may be holding on to something for such a long period of time because of their pride or their ego or, just something is allowing them to hold on to it for whatever reason. I guarantee you, the moment you let that go, something better is going to come in and replace that thing, and you're just gonna be rolling from there.
Yeah. Do you have an example when you're talking about like, something that you need to let go? Is there something that you have had to let go that you then found down the line, you were like, hey, I was reluctant to let this go, but maybe 2 weeks or 2 months down the line, 4 months down the line, you're like, oh wow, if I didn't let this one go, maybe I would have been, in a ditch. You get what I'm saying?
I got a really good one. I think.
Go for it.
Shout out to all my exes back in the day. I love you guys all. You guys are all great. You guys all taught me something special. You guys all did. You guys all made me the man I am today. Shout out to y'all. Because yes, I mean, I'm not putting no bad light on any of them, but it's just yes, all of them. I mean, let's keep it real. None of them are in my life today for a reason. So that was the biggest one I would say that I've learned from tremendously, especially one specifically that I'm thinking of. And I think if I went that route of continuously chasing and just going after and trying to make things work on that end, it would have my entire life, my entire journey would be completely different to this day. Because yes, I was going to make life-changing moves at that moment at the same time. So be able to say, you know what, I gotta go separate ways. This is it. Again, taking that octopus and clipping the leg out just to kind of take it out and allowing, and what indeed happened. Something better came in. So I'm not just talking about just nonsense. I'm actually talking about real life experiences that I've experienced myself, with just letting things go and just kind of allowing things to be what they are, and allowing somebody to show you who they are. So I absolutely, I mean, that's one of the big ones I can speak on.
So let
Shout out to
me
y'all
ask you.
again.
Let me ask you a question. Like from brother to brother, you went through that experience with, previous relationship where you thought that was the one, if I'm not mistaken, and then through experiences you realized that, hey, I was better off without. For somebody
Yeah.
like myself who has struggled with that, because I strongly believe in the power of relationship. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be romantic, but just maintaining a positive relationship and growing together. At what point did you realize that, hey, this wasn't for me anymore, and I just needed to walk away? Because, I feel like I've been in this position countless time, and a time where I try to fix things out where I don't need to fix them. So, I would love to hear, like, what was that deciding factor for you to walk away from that and say, okay, I'm gonna do things completely different, because that can help me in some of those situations.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that everybody's going to have their own tactics of how to navigate situations of that nature. Again, just understanding the person, having those deep conversations that you don't want to have, putting the other person and yourself in an uncomfortable situation to sit down and have not only have those conversations, but ask those tough questions that no one wants to hear.
Gotcha.
And yeah, you may not get the answer that you want. And if that is the case, you got to live with it. Just know that now you know. It's better to know than to be in the unknown and to be a second guessing or making assumptions. I like to say making or assuming, right? Making an ass out of you and me. So I like to say those because, again, that's exactly what's happening. Unless if you ask those questions, not only ask those questions, but have those tough conversations, but understand the person for who they are. Because, again, you could ask these questions and someone could be vividly lying to you and leading you in a completely direction where you have no idea where the heck is going. You think everything is all green grass and dandy and everything. Next thing you know, you get a baseball bat to your head and nothing is, you're like, what in the world is happening? So understanding the person, that's where it's key. Because again, if you know the person, you'll know when something isn't right. You could be able to tell when someone's lying. Everyone has something special to them when they start lying. Trust me. You just got to be able to know the person to the point where you can be able to see through them. And when you're able to see through them, you're able to say, all right, this isn't, you can kind of just keep an eye on it. And then I would say also, give yourself time. Giving yourself time to make decisions, to really sit with yourself, to get clarity. I mean, what more do you really need after all that is in front of you? I mean, you have your time, you have your answers, you have your questions and answers. You sat with yourself and identified if it's a good decision or not to do those things. So, I mean, those are the things that I do on a daily basis. To help me navigate every single day, not only just relationships, but every single day of decisions that have to be made. Because again, as you get older, anybody that's listening to this and you're in middle school, well, you shouldn't be listening to this if you're in middle school. I mean, if you do, then good for you, but you're ahead of the game. But if you're listening to this and you're pretty young, high school, college, or whatever the case may be, you're always going to make those tough decisions. So find a formula for you that works to help you make those decisions when you're faced with them. Because again, it's gonna happen, and if you can have something to lean on or kind of go back to for reference of, hey, this is my way of dealing with something, then you're gonna be at peace, and you're gonna know, like, you know what, the decision was made. Whatever happened, and I'm not going to promise you, but I can almost guarantee you that something better is going to come in right behind it.
Gotcha. Sure. Yeah. And I needed that input just because I found myself in the position countless times. So, and it's like, yes, you try to adjust to the individual, but at the end of the day, it's your decision to make and see how you want to move. And hearing your perspective kind of helps. Seeing how you handle it.
You gotta live with it.
Yeah.
You have to live with that decision. So allow it to be your decision rather than somebody else's decision for
Somebody
you.
else's decision. Yeah.
And that's you playing offense, right? You're attacking. You're getting the answers that you want. Don't attack physically.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
don't attack where you're gonna mentally hurt somebody, but just attack in the sense where, you're getting what you need for yourself, and don't really look to care about how the person feels. I mean, good relationship, romantic, friendship, all that stuff. I mean, we say it all the time, man. We say it all the time. You have to protect your inner peace, or else you're giving it to the world to literally disrupt it for you. And I mean, the consequences are numerous of what can happen.
Well said. So I appreciate your input, and I hope this episode was beneficial to, those who listened to it today. And if you ever need to kind of challenge some of our thoughts, some of the things that we're talking about, feel free to reach out to us by email or on Instagram. We're more than welcome to have you on the show and kind of extend this conversation a bit more. It's a good opportunity for us to also grow, because at the end of the day, it's only two of us here sharing perspective. The larger the table, the better we can all grow. So bring it on whenever you can. Don't be shy. Definitely don't be shy. It's not a place where we're judgmental. I've been in so many places, so many rooms to this day. I listen to people who are judgmental, and believe that this place is not that way. You have this is a family. This is a place for you where you can be yourself and not having to listen to negative stuff on the regular. Come through and just shine your light brighter. Shine your light brighter than anything. That's all I can say.
We want to make this table as big as possible, but at the same time, we want to keep it to the place where it's not like family Thanksgivings, right? Where you have the aunt at one table, and then you have the boyfriend of the uncle, or the girlfriend, I should say, of the uncle at the other end of the table, and they start scrapping with each other. So that's not what we're here to do. We're here to make sure that everyone is, like Francis mentioned, keeping everybody's spirits high, bringing no judgment here. It's imagine if a table here is like 50 plus people with different perspectives and mindsets, and oh my goodness, do you know how powerful that is? I just want everybody listening to, even watching this, to really think about that. A big table of 50 plus people just sharing different perspectives on what they believe in. I mean, at the end of that day, at the end of that conversation, at the end of whoever's speaking, something is going to click, and you're going to be like, there goes the light bulb. Shout out to Thomas Edison.
And that's all we want, man. We're here to serve each other. Your purpose is here to benefit others. You're not here to downplay somebody else's skill set and somebody else's ability. We're here to lift each other up. I said that every day. So let's keep that momentum going.
Our content is literally the complete opposite of what is pushed out into the world. Understand that.
Exactly.
So if everything gets hidden, everything gets pushed down, our content does, there's a reason for that. We're here to do the complete opposite. Again, we talked about it. Offense versus defense. Which side are you on? I mean, based off of what I just said, what side you think we're on? We're on offense, baby. We're going to play offense until the day, at least I'm going to play offense till the day I die, because I know exactly what I have to do.
Yes, sir. Choose your battle wisely.
Yeah. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. We're on YouTube now. Don't forget to leave those reviews. Let us know where we're good, where we're bad at, what we can improve in. And of course, don't forget, reach out. Let us know what you guys have. Let us know if there's anything that we said that pissed you off or made you happy, and we want to hear from you to see exactly what perspective do you have.